Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link below the episode description. Pre-workout supplements, a $14 billion industry built on colorful powders and big promises. But what most gym goers don't realize is that 73% of these products contain ingredients in doses far different than what research shows to be effective.
That's really eye-opening when you think about how many people rely on these supplements for their daily workouts. The marketing makes it seem so straightforward, but there's clearly more to the story.
Well, here's what's fascinating. While the marketing focuses on the immediate energy boost, the science behind these supplements is actually much more complex. The way different ingredients interact with each other can either enhance or diminish their effects.
So, how do we know which combinations actually work? Because I've tried several brands and felt completely different effects.
Let me break this down. Research shows that caffeine, the primary ingredient in most pre-workouts, is most effective when combined with specific amino acids. For example, studies found that combining caffeine with L-theanine can improve focus by 32% compared to caffeine alone.
That's interesting because most people probably just look at the caffeine content when choosing a product.
Exactly right. And here's something even more surprising. The timing of when you take these supplements can impact their effectiveness by up to 40%. The optimal window isn't actually right before your workout, like many people think.
Well, that explains why sometimes I feel like I'm getting hit with effects mid-workout. When should people actually be taking them?
Research indicates that 30 to 45 minutes before exercise is ideal for most ingredients to reach peak blood levels. But here's the catch. Different ingredients peak at different times. Creatine, for instance, needs to build up in your system over several days to reach optimal levels.
Speaking of creatine, I've heard so many conflicting things about water retention and muscle mass. What's the real story there?
The science is actually pretty clear on this one. Clinical studies show that creatine causes an initial water weight gain of about 2 to 4 pounds in the first week. But, and this is crucial, that water is pulled into the muscle cells, not under the skin where it would cause that puffy look people worry about.
That makes so much more sense than what you typically hear at the gym.
And here's something that really surprised researchers. This intracellular water retention actually triggers protein synthesis pathways, potentially increasing muscle growth by up to 15% compared to training without creatine supplementation.
Let's talk about safety, because that's something I think a lot of people worry about with these supplements.
Well, this is where things get concerning. A 2022 study found that about 18% of pre-workout supplements contained unlisted ingredients, and nearly 25% had significantly different amounts of ingredients than what was listed on the label.
That's honestly pretty scary. How do people protect themselves from these issues?
The key is looking for third-party tested products. Organizations like NSF International and Informed Choice randomly test supplements, and products with their certification are found to be accurately labeled 99% of the time. But, and this is important, only about 5% of pre-workout supplements currently carry these certifications.
So, what are the most important ingredients people should look for in a pre-workout?
Research points to 4 key components: caffeine, 200 to 400 milligrams, creatine monohydrate, 3 to 5 grams, beta-alanine, 2 to 5 grams, and L-citrulline, 6 to 8 grams. These have the strongest scientific backing for performance enhancement. But here's what's interesting. Many popular pre-workouts actually underdose these ingredients while including dozens of under-researched compounds.
That's really helpful to know what to look for on labels. What about cycling off these supplements? I've heard that's important.
The data on this is fascinating. Studies show that after 6 to 8 weeks of consistent use, the effectiveness of pre-workout supplements can decrease by up to 40% due to tolerance development. Taking a 2-week break can restore nearly full effectiveness.
Do you think these supplements are really necessary for the average person working out?
Well, here's what the research tells us. For high-intensity training, pre-workout supplements can increase performance by 4 to 8% on average. But, and this is crucial, they don't make up for poor nutrition or inadequate rest. In fact, about 70% of your performance comes from those basic fundamentals.
That really puts things in perspective.
And here's something else to consider. The placebo effect is remarkably strong with pre-workout supplements. Studies have shown that people given a placebo they believed was pre-workout still performed about 3% better than baseline. This suggests that some of the benefit might come from the ritual and mindset rather than just the ingredients.
That's fascinating about the placebo effect. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Yes, remember that pre-workout supplements are tools, not magic potions. The research shows they can enhance performance when used correctly, but they're not necessary for good results. Focus on the fundamentals first: proper nutrition, adequate sleep, and consistent training. If you do choose to use pre-workout supplements, start with half doses, choose third-party tested products, and cycle off periodically. Your body will thank you for taking this measured approach. Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you have received value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show with your friends and send them a link to the show. 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me by sending me a message using the Send Us a Text link below the episode description.